お休み前に英語で国内ニュースの時間です。今日の話題を英語でどうぞ。
At 5:32 p.m., the weather agency issued a level 4 heavy rain danger warning for Tokyo's Chuo, Arakawa, and Taito wards. Developed rain clouds continue to cover southern Kanto. Earlier, the same warning was issued for Shinjuku, Bunkyo, Toshima, Kita, and Itabashi wards in Tokyo's 23 wards.
The Democratic Party for the People officially announced its leadership election on August 22nd. Incumbent leader Yuichiro Tamaki and lower house lawmaker Mikihiko Hashimoto, who has been elected twice, are running. The election will be held on September 6th. The candidates are expected to debate how the party should work with the governing parties.
Typhoon number 20 formed near Miyakojima at noon on August 22nd. People in the Sakishima Islands are urged to remain alert for landslides. Residents should continue to watch the latest weather information and follow updates from news and disaster prevention apps.
Chiben Wakayama High School won the National Summer High School Baseball Tournament on August 2020. The team came from behind late in the game to defeat Takasaki Health and Welfare University Takasaki High School from Gunma 4-3. This was Chiben Wakayama's fourth championship and its first in 5 years.
An interview video featuring Emiko Yoshida, known as the girl with bandages in a famous Hiroshima atomic bombing photograph, was donated to the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum on August 21st. High school students made the video in 2007. The museum plans to make it available as a valuable record of the bombing's human cost.
A 25-year-old Nepalese international student was found dead in the Naka River in Fukuoka on August 19th. Her smartphone is still missing. Police found deep bruising on her forehead and cuts on her head. Blood and signs of a struggle were also found at her home, and police are investigating the case as murder.
The Fukuoka High Court has also recognized the suicide of a former city employee as a work-related public disaster. The 44-year-old man died in 2015 after developing depression. A court found that he had suffered mental pressure and harassment from both a subordinate and a supervisor. The earlier court ruling was upheld.
Japan carried out the death sentence of Sunao Takami on August 21 at Osaka Detention Center. Takami was convicted of setting fire to a pachinko parlor in Osaka in 2009, killing 5 people and injuring 10 others. The Justice Minister called the crime extremely cruel. Some bereaved families said the execution was sudden.
The flying dinosaur roller coaster at Universal Studios Japan stopped suddenly while operating on the morning of August 22nd. The park said it stopped for safety checks and resumed operation a few minutes later. No injuries or reports of illness were received. The attraction also had emergency stops in 2022 and 2023.
次は社会のニュースです。
A tropical depression near Miyakojima in Okinawa has strengthened into typhoon number 20. This is the highest number of typhoons by August in 8 years. Miyakojima recorded 276 millimeters of rain in 12 hours by 11:20 a.m., the highest August total on record. Heavy rain and strong winds are expected to continue.
Japan carried out the death sentence on a 58-year-old man convicted of killing 5 people in a 2009 fire at a pachinko parlor in Osaka. The Justice Minister said the execution took place on the morning of the 21st. Relatives said they were surprised because the decision came suddenly.
On the 20th, 4 workers were killed after being hit by an express train at a station in Kanuma, Tochigi Prefecture. The driver told the railway company that he entered the platform after receiving a signal that the workers had moved away. He then saw workers on the tracks and applied emergency brakes, but could not stop in time.
A six-vehicle crash happened near the Tosu interchange on the Nagasaki Expressway in Saga Prefecture. A large truck hit a microbus stopped in traffic, causing a chain collision. The bus carried 9 female students and 2 staff members. All 11 were taken to hospitals. 3 students were seriously hurt, but none had life-threatening injuries.
Police are investigating the death of a 25-year-old Nepalese student whose body was found in a Fukuoka river on the 19th. Her smartphone is missing, and police believe someone may have taken it or thrown it away. She had deep bruising and cuts, while blood and signs of a struggle were found at her home.
The Fukuoka High Court recognized the suicide of a former Nogata City employee as a public work accident. The man, aged 44, developed depression after pressure from a subordinate and a supervisor. He became a section chief in an unfamiliar department in June 2015, developed depression by September, and died the following month.
Police in Kyoto arrested a 46-year-old temporary worker on suspicion of attempted murder. She allegedly gave a 30-year-old acquaintance a muffin containing acrylamide, a toxic chemical, on July 24th. The man lost consciousness, was hospitalized until early August, and is still receiving treatment. She admits giving him the muffin but denies trying to kill him.
Budget requests from Japan's ministries for fiscal 2027 are expected to exceed 130 trillion yen for the first time. The total was 122 trillion yen for fiscal 2026. The main reason is an unlimited request allowance for new growth investments. Defense officials seek about 8.9 trillion yen, while Social Security spending may rise by 390 billion yen.
A suspended roller coaster called the Flying Dinosaur made an emergency stop at Universal Studios Japan in Osaka on the morning of August 22. The ride restarted a few minutes later. The park said there were no injuries and no reports of visitors feeling sick.
次はビジネス関連のニュースです。
The Trump administration will impose an additional 50% tariff on some imports from Canada, including ice hockey sticks and dairy products, starting on August 22nd. Talks to avoid the tariffs ended without an agreement. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said the United States changed its proposal at the last minute and suggested matching tariffs in response.
The Democratic Party for the People has officially announced its leadership election. Incumbent leader Yuichiro Tamaki and lower house member Mikihiko Hashimoto, who has won 2 elections, are the only candidates. The election will be held on September 6th. The candidates are expected to debate how the party should work with the ruling parties.
Japan's finance ministry is considering using an assumed interest rate of 3.8% for the 2027 budget. The rate is used to calculate interest payments on government bonds, and it would rise from 3.0% for 2026. Higher interest payments are expected to put more pressure on government finances. Bond costs are expected to increase again in 2027.
The Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry plans to request about 7.7 trillion yen for the 2027 budget. The money would support artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and energy. About 4.5 trillion yen would go to a new investment program. The request is already more than 2 trillion yen above the previous combined budgets, and it may grow further.
Japan's consumer price index, excluding fresh food, reached 102.1 in July, based on 2025 prices. It rose 1.8% from a year earlier, with the increase growing for a second straight month. Food prices rose 3%. Rice prices fell 11.6%, but green tea rose 29.2%. Memory cards cost 2.5 times more than last year.
The Labor Ministry will provide special employment subsidies to companies affected by the Kumamoto earthquake. Companies whose sales fell at least 10% in the latest month may qualify instead of comparing a 3-month average. Businesses less than 1 year old may also qualify. The subsidy can cover up to 9,110 yen per worker per day.
TikTok has agreed to pay $400 million, or about 63.6 billion yen, to settle a lawsuit by the United States government. The case accused TikTok and its parent company of collecting information from children under 13 without parents' permission. The settlement is the largest of its kind. TikTok has since strengthened age limits and parental controls.
The Ministry of Internal Affairs is considering measures to protect local government finances if the consumption tax on food is cut to 1% for 2 years. The request will be included in the ministry's budget proposal. The ministry says appropriate action is needed so that the tax change does not interfere with local government's financial management.
The Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry plans to request 150 billion yen for a new investment in Rapidus in the next fiscal year's budget. Rapidus aims to mass-produce advanced semiconductors. If approved, this would be the government's third investment in the company. The total government investment would reach 400 billion yen.
では、スポーツニュースをお伝えします。
Chiben Wakayama High School has won the National Summer High School Baseball Championship. In the final on August 22nd, the Wakayama team came from behind late in the game and defeated Takasaki Health and Welfare University, Takasaki High School of Gunma, 4-3. It was Chiben Wakayama's fourth championship and its first in 5 years.
The Los Angeles Dodgers have won 4 straight games. Yoshinobu Yamamoto started against the Pittsburgh Pirates and allowed 2 runs before leaving partway through the 7th inning. He left with the right to earn the win, but the Dodgers later gave up the lead and were tied. His 13th Major League win was delayed. Shohei Ohtani had 1 hit.
Ichiro has congratulated Chiben Wakayama on winning the Koshien final. He said he deeply respects both Chiben Wakayama and Takasaki, which lost 4-3. Ichiro began coaching high school players with Chiben Wakayama in 2020. Because he had connections with both schools, he said their meeting in the final fulfilled one of his dreams.
Japanese golfer Miyu Yamashita set a new record for 36 holes with 126 strokes at the CPKC Women's Open in Canada. On the second day, she made 8 birdies and 2 bogeys. She kept the solo lead and moved well ahead of the field. Yamashita said things were going smoothly.
Haruka Kitaguchi won the women's javelin at the Diamond League meet in Lausanne, Switzerland. Her throw measured 64 meters and 90 centimeters, the best mark of her season. Kitaguchi, the Olympic champion from Paris, also secured a place in the Diamond League final. She won the event with her season's best performance.
Yusei Kikuchi is heading toward a return to Major League Baseball. He may start for the Texas Rangers in their game on August 24th. The report says a start is possible, but it does not confirm the decision. Further details about his return were not provided.
Rui Hachimura spoke about eventually joining the B-League's Toyama team, his hometown team, at the end of his career. The 28-year-old NBA Clippers player said he wants to go while he can still perform well, not sit on the bench. He also joked about recruiting fellow Toyama native Yuki Baba.
Cristiano Ronaldo scored as Al Nassr beat Al Riyadh 4-0 in the Saudi Arabian League. He entered in the 62nd minute and scored in the 83rd. It was his 977th career goal and his 25th straight season with a league goal, passing Zlatan Ibrahimovic's record. Ronaldo is now chasing 1,000 official goals.
Major League Soccer fined Lionel Messi for a violent act against Philadelphia Union player Quinn Sullivan during a 2-2 game. Messi argued with Sullivan and appeared to hit his head. The league said this violated its rule against touching an opponent's face, head, or neck. The fine amount is private. Messi was not suspended and can play against Toronto FC.
続いて、国際ニュースです。
The Trump administration has imposed an additional 50% tariff on some imports from Canada, including hockey sticks and dairy products. The two countries kept negotiating to avoid the tariff from August 22nd, but failed to reach an agreement. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney suggested retaliation, saying Canada would impose matching tariffs to protect workers and businesses.
Authorities in Kryvyi Rih, southern Ukraine, say an attack on the city's largest shopping center killed at least 15 people and injured more than 130. President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russian forces used drones in two attacks. The second came about 30 minutes after the first fire, targeting emergency and fire crews.
An investigation based on public information says at least 241,088 Russian soldiers had died by August 21st, since the invasion of Ukraine began in February 2022. The actual number is believed to be higher. The average age was 38, and 56% were people not previously connected to the military, including volunteers and prisoners.
TikTok has reached a settlement with the United States Department of Justice. Under the agreement, TikTok will pay 63.6 billion yen. The payment is described as one of the largest of its kind in the past. The settlement was reported on August 22nd, but no other terms were given.
Tomoko Akane, president of the International Criminal Court, has commented on the Trump administration's decision to place her under sanctions. She said the important thing is not to allow this to become the beginning of the end of the rule of law. The report gives no further details about the sanctions.
A United States military anti-submarine patrol aircraft flew over the Taiwan Strait. The flight appears aimed at signaling opposition to China, which has been increasing its military pressure. The report described the move as a way to keep China in check, but gave no further details about the aircraft's route or mission.
The Defense Department notified the editor-in-chief, publisher, and Middle East reporter of its semi-official military newspaper that they would be dismissed. The newspaper receives part of its budget from the department, but its editorial operations have remained independent. The editor said on television that the dismissals followed criticism of censorship. The department has not directly commented.
President Trump says the United States will strengthen economic sanctions and other economic measures against Iran while watching how Iran responds. The details of the sanctions are expected to be announced next week. Iran's reaction to those measures is now the main focus. The report does not provide further details about the planned sanctions.
The UN Security Council held its second preliminary vote on candidates for the next Secretary General. Guyana's ambassador, Carolyn Rodriguez Burkett, led narrowly with 8 votes in favor and 3 against. 8 people are running. The current Secretary General, Guterres, ends his term at year's end. The outcome remains uncertain because a permanent member could use its veto.
続いて、文化・芸能ニュースをお伝えします。
The Justice Ministry has canceled its poster tie-up with Netflix's reality dating show Love Jodo. The decision followed many criticisms on social media, including concerns that crime victims might feel uncomfortable. The ministry asked rehabilitation facilities nationwide to stop displaying the posters. It said the decision does not reject the cast or rehabilitation efforts.
Japan's anime industry depends on many freelance workers, but they have often lacked workers' compensation, insurance, and support during time off work. Freelance creators became eligible for a special insurance system in 2021, yet enrollment remains low. In June, a new group was formed to help with applications, workplace accidents, and harassment concerns.
Go player Yuta Iyama defended his title in the final game of the 51st Kisei title match. Playing white, he defeated challenger Atsushi Sada after 164 moves, winning the series 3-2. Aoyama achieved his second streak of 6 consecutive Kisei titles, following his run from 2012 through 2017.
Researchers found the end of an arrow in mud from a Yuan invasion ship at an underwater site in Nagasaki. Its design matches a crossbow arrow used in southern Song, China. The arrow end is about 5.3 centimeters long, made with bamboo and wood and covered in black lacquer, with some red lacquer.
A travel magazine called Hokkaido Jalan will stop publication after its March 2027 issue. The related book series, Jalan de Tabasuru Hokkaido, will also end. This will close more than 35 years of magazine and book sales under the Jalan name. The publisher said travel information has shifted to the internet and will continue online.
The Panda House at Tokyo's Ueno Zoo, where Shang Shang was born, began being dismantled on August 17th. Shang Shang was returned to China in 2023. Before the work began, many people visited the zoo on August 16th to say a final goodbye to the place filled with memories.
The Akutagawa and Naoki Prize presentation ceremony was held, and Kosagawa made a statement. Kosagawa said they would work in a down-to-earth and straightforward way. This was the main detail reported about the ceremony and the remarks. The statement showed a commitment to continuing in an honest, hard-working manner.
Actor Masahiro Motoki spoke about his eldest son, model UTA, at a film event in Tokyo. UTA recently made his acting debut in the Netflix production Gasman, playing the title character. Motoki said they had chosen the same path and expressed hope that acting in many roles would help UTA broaden his understanding of people.
今日のニュースは以上です。最後までお付き合いいただき、ありがとうございました。おやすみなさい。